I'm back! Or it's the first time you're seeing me today. Basically, look, we're doing 2 ups and downs today. 2, what a world are we living in, to the point my knees have crumbled and I'm falling down the camera shot because, yeah, we did ups and downs for Fight for the Fallen, and now we're about to up and downs Evolve 10th anniversary show. That wasn't even grammar. Evolve 10th anniversary show. It's evolves. Evolves. But my name is Simon Miller. I have clearly watched way too much wrestling today. I know no right from wrong. But Evolve did have their 10th anniversary show, and it was on the WWE Network, the first time a non-WWE show has ever done that. Let's up those downs. A shout out to the intro of this show that featured the likes of Daniel Bryan, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet, and Drew Gulak, who were all saying how important Evolve has been to their career and that without the promotion, they probably wouldn't be where they were today. Daniel Bryan was on it too. This was pretty damn epic. It also was such a weird experience to be watching a promotion that wasn't WWE on the WWE Network, and now we have pulled the trigger with this. I imagine we're going to see it a lot more, especially if we can do it to have competition against AEW shows. Isn't that right, WWE? It's true. Even better, a lot of the guys I was seeing on this evening, I only know by name or in GIF form. So when we kick things off with Joe Briggs taking on Retro Anthony Green, I was all excited, and it's gonna get it up. Briggs started things off by just hurling Green around the ring, and that made me laugh. For reasons I don't even know why, but when the Retro one got back on the offensive using his ring smarts, I could see what we were doing here. And to be honest, this was pretty much what you'd expect from a normal WWE match, and that is not a criticism, it's just an observation. Hence why it's in the closing stages when we start to hit all our big moves in order to bring this crowd to a crescendo. Brandy Lauren, who is Green's manager, got kicked out of the arena because she kept getting involved, and that allowed Briggs to hit a chokeslam powerbomb. Here's your first victor on this evening. This was clearly just a match to let everybody settle down for the evening and shine a spotlight on 2 guys who are probably having the biggest spotlight shone on them that they've ever had, and I think they took their ball and smashed it out the park. Well done, team. Which brought us to Sean Maluta taking on Kurt Stallion, taking on Harlem Bravado, taking on Stephen Wolf, and Mulata, you may remember from NXT, he's popped up a couple of times. Give it up. The really cool thing about this is that whoever put this card together clearly went, all right, match 1, we'll make it a bit like a WWE match so that WWE fans that are tuning in are used to it, but match 2 will go more independent match, if you want to call it that, and we'll just have 4 guys go absolutely nuts. As fast-paced, high-flying, crazy moves, they established that Harlem Bravado is an absolute asshole. It's everything you possibly could have wanted. Kicks, 619s, Blue Thunder Bombs, Codebreaker, Death Valley Drivers. It was just let's do moves to each other for a little bit and see who stands up. That did happen for a few minutes until Wolf hit a shooting star press on Bravado, and I can just caveat all of this by saying the shooting star press is an amazing move, but I had seen so much I kind of went, I'm surprised that actually finished this off. They packed as much into this as they possibly could, and it was really fun stuff, which actually sums up the whole of the Evolve show. Fun stuff. Arutro Ruiz and Anthony Henry are clearly thought of quite highly as well, because they both got video packages before that match that let you know who exactly they are. And even if I didn't see this, what I would be telling you right now is they are 2 guys that may not actually know pro wrestling is fake. Give it up. The story here was that they legit hated each other, and that was easy to believe because, again, they were smacking the absolute shit out of each other. Henry's nose was busted open within about 3 seconds of the bell ringing, and I don't think anybody has clued them up that pro wrestling isn't really on the up and up. With that said, this was yet another totally different contest because really, to get one over their opponent, they wanted to tap the other person out. There were still plenty of pin attempts, whereas Henry was going for an ankle lock and Ruiz was going for a knee bar. You could see the intensity in their faces. When they both did fail, they went, and they went back to just slapping each other in the face. This tied into the finish too because Ruiz took his leg and just spun kick it right into Henry's skull, and that was enough to put him down for the 1, 2, 3. This honestly looked like a kickboxing fight at times, but it did separate it from everything else on the show. And I am interested in these 2 guys, more so because I'd like to know if they are still alive. And talking of whether people are still alive, Brandy Lauren versus Shotzi Blackheart. My word. Now really this was a bit all over the place, but in no world am I going to criticize something when Blackheart went for a suicide dive on Lauren. She moved out the way, meaning Blackheart went headfirst into a bunch of chairs. It was so vicious and it looked so grotesque. I sat there on my sofa at about 6 a.m. in the morning and shouted out, "Oh my gosh, she may be dead." I would like to apologize to my neighbors. Before this had even begun, Natalia Markova had attacked Blackheart, so it was just an absolute crap night for her, especially because she did lose here. She got walloped with a bunch of kendo sticks. I would not have traded places with her on this evening. Green was also there at one point to help out Brandy, because of course remember the start of the show, those two are a pairing, and even though she did smell defeat, Shotzi was cheered out the arena, because of course she was. She couldn't have given any more here. Evolve is certainly doing all right, and if you like your independent wrestling just a little bit different, this was proof that you should check it out. Give it an up. Colby Corino versus Babatunde was next, and let's just be completely honest, it was a showcase for Babatunde. It lasted about 3 minutes. It was basically a glorified squash match, and if we are marking on a curve, which we do here on Ups and Downs, gets a down. Not bad down, just a curve down. And yeah, it's a bit harsh, but there's just not that much to say. At one point, Corino thought he could take down his twice as big opponent by slapping his chest. He couldn't, so Babatunde destroyed him, gave him a frog splash, and that was that. And as you may or may not know, Colby is part of the Unwanted stable. They were out next because they were going to be defending their tag team championships against AR Fox and Leon Ruff. Apparently too, we were just going to go on a 10-minute sprint here and see who could and who couldn't keep up. The pace was unreal, but it's a bit like going to see a comedian that goes joke, 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 joke. You may not like joke 1, 2 and 3, but because joke 4, 5 and 6 make you laugh, you've already forgot about joke 1, 2 and 3 and you're moving on to something else. The rules had also been thrown out the window, which was hilarious because we didn't even see a tag during this, and by the time Ruff had hit a rough ride onto Joe Gacy through a table that allowed AR Fox to hit a 450 splash on Eddie Kingston, it was quite clear that we were about to see new Evolve Tag Team Champions, and that's exactly what happened. I was tired when this was done, physically exhausted, but this was also the highlight of the night so far, until they immediately got outdone by Matt Riddle versus Drew Gulak. This was absolutely fantastic. Give it up. They played off a catch point stable that both men used to be in, and it just built wonderfully like you were trying to construct your dream house. It started off with a bit of technical wrestling before Matt Riddle started to incorporate some of his MMA moves, and Drew Gulak didn't like that. He just started to punch him back. Then we got into the meat and potatoes of the whole thing, and it was just like WWE main pay-per-view levels of awesome. It was easy to see that both of them were trying to make a point, and the finish was just masterful because Riddle went for his floating bro, and it looked like he hit it, but somehow Gulak reversed that into the Gulak submission, but then Matt countered that into the bro Derek for the win. This was as smooth as silk. I think this may be one of my favorite endings to any match I've seen this year because they just did everything so effortlessly, and also it looked like a fight, even though a lot of the moves they were doing could never actually be doing reality. One of those ones you've got to go out there and see for yourself. They also put over the catch point stable as well as the Cruiserweight Championship that Drew Gulak had brought to the ring. This gets both thumbs. As does everything that happened next. At this juncture, I want to point out, I know we're giving out loads of ups and barely any downs, but Evolve 10 was still not one of the best shows I've ever seen. It was just a very fun show where nothing really went wrong. So you got to call a spade a spade. We got a promo video for JD Drake and Austin Theory, who are going to be in our next contest before Brian Idol came out. And that's actually quite funny because none of the crowd wanted to see him, and they chanted Corbin, Corbin at him instead of boring because they thought Baron Corbin boring. Get it? Then the lights went out though, and when they came back on, guess who was standing in the ring? It was Paul Heyman, and that was doubly special because it was Paul Heyman's first time back in the ECW arena for 19 years. The crowd went nuts. He seemed genuinely moved by this, and he just went on to put over Austin Theory and JD Drake as the future of pro wrestling. And look at that, because that's what Paul Heyman does. All of a sudden a bunch of people were like, I guess they're the future of pro wrestling. It was a very nice touch. The coolest thing about the match itself was that one, we were unifying the Evolve and WWN championships, and that's always exciting, but two, you cannot go out there into the wrestling landscape and find two people that look as different as they do. It's just like drawing a wonderful line under what pro wrestling is in 2019. It look like doesn't matter who you are, there's a place for you. This was a long ass match too, but I don't think either guy could have done more. They fought out the ring, they fought in the ring, they were beating each other up. At one point, Austin Theory kicked out of the drill bit, Drake was doing moonsaults. At one point, they were also so tired they were on their knees, and they were just planting each other with whatever shots they could. And on that note, let's give a quick shout out to Kenny Omega and Okada for bringing that spot back to pro wrestling. It was Theory that won everything though, after smashing Drake with 3 super kicks and his ataxia finish, which is really weird. It's like a roller coaster gone wrong, but it's pretty cool. I've never seen anything like it. But it also turned out to be a bad evening for him. As he was cutting his post-match promo, the lights went out again, and when they came back on, Josh Briggs from match 1 was in the ring. He chokeslammed Theory, and that's that. You've got your first appointment, boy. When you get to the top, you've got to watch your ass. Realize I didn't even say this. He, of course, gets an up. It was then our main event, and Adam Cole and Tozawa finished off this card by putting on a ridiculously high-quality contest that really should be on something like a WWE pay-per-view. Not every match has to be like this, but it should feature somewhere. Give it up. The NXT title was on the line, but that kind of ruined proceedings. It was so clear that Adam Cole was going to win here, they were never going to give it to Tozawa on a show like this, so because of that, yeah, it gets it down. Otherwise, though, it was amazing, and they followed the usual template. They started slow, and they built, and they built, and they built, and they built, and by the time Tozawa had all the momentum, and Adam Cole was pissed off, he just thought, screw it, and he went to get the NXT title because he was going to smash his opponent in the face. But that wasn't happening, not on Johnny Gargano's watch, because he appeared from nowhere. He distracted Adam Cole, and that almost meant he lost the match because Tozawa rolled him up, but could only get a 2 count. Tozawa also went for his senton, but Cole got his knees up, and that opened the door. He hit the Panama Sunrise, he hit the last shot. Adam Cole, like I already hinted at, is still your NXT champion, because of course he is. Cole and Gargano stared at each other afterwards, but Adam wanted none of that, so he just went to the back, and that allowed Johnny Gargano to get a microphone and say, "Isn't Evolve great?" And based on this show, Johnny, yes. Yes, it is. So yeah, again, I don't want you to be going crazy in the comments going, oh my gosh, the ups and downs ratio. But look, if you go and watch it, it was just good match after good match after good match. There were a few things that were great, but I can only obey what I see. I had a really fun time. It was just a good few hours. So with my spinning arrow thing, it gets an up. No surprise there. And let's just be happy, we had a damn good day of pro wrestling. AEW was good, Evolve was good. Now it's just up to Extreme Rules. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Evolve event. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to whatculture.com, read yourself some articles. Follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE. Watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling. My name is Simon from What Culture, and again, you can go check out Fight for the Fallen Ups and Downs right now. You've just seen Evolve ones. Extreme Rules will be here tomorrow. There is a lot of wrestling.